Welcome to Flatfoots and Fools, a podcast about detective games. I'm Andrew, and today I am joined in the interview room by John. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Excited to do this one. I've been talking about it to my friends, and I kind of won't shut up about it and make corny jokes.
Excellent, because today we are here for 2015's game Her Story by Sam Barlow. And this one is a big one, not because of necessarily how big it is itself, but it's inspired at least a dozen other developers while they're creating their own investigation and detective games.
It was like relatively short game. I think I clocked it in at like less than 3 hours, and that's only because I wanted to 100% it.
Yeah, I'd say anywhere between 1 to 3 hours, depending on if you try and get everything, how quickly you happen to stumble into stuff, which we will get into.
Yep.
Yeah,
Relatively quick, but meaty. It's a very meaty game.
yeah. Barlow sets out to recreate all the cool parts of a police procedural interview scene with this game. So that was his initial design goal. And he ended up using video clips as part of that, just kind of as an accident. Like, it wasn't setting out to recreate the FMV genre at the beginning, but ended up kind of stumbling backwards into doing that. So what was your first impression of this game?
So, opening the game, I opened a document file and I started taking notes. I've got like 10 pages of notes. Granted, I like took down everything that I was thinking, stream of thought consciousness, because this one is an actual detective game ish. So I have like 10 pages of notes. How did you jump into this game?
I'd seen this one referenced periodically as, oh, this one does investigation stuff really, really well. And so I got to the game, popped it open, like read how it worked, searched up my first interview clip, and went, oh, let me grab a pad of paper. So I grabbed a pad of paper next to the desk and then started writing things down, mostly as like, oh, what's the next keyword I think I should search?
Oh, yeah. Like I went into this one as we normally do. You generally tend to plan, and I tend to look at our list of games and go, which one can I finish this week? Literally went in knowing nothing but the name. And I started taking notes. Yeah.
I had a much better idea of what was coming, especially because it had been shown in multiple of Game Maker's Toolkit's videos about detective games.
I can see
Um,
that.
like the first one was Where Are All the Good Detective Games? It was one of the only like, hey, this one's cool. Why can't we have more stuff like this? And then the later one that comes out, I think 6 years later, is like, this was one of the first of this subtype.
I didn't know what to expect. Yeah.
This one's a totally original story. It's a one shot, but Barlow goes on to do 2 or 3 more other games about unearthing a story through video clips. So you could call it the first of an unofficial series.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to play with more of his stuff, man.
Yeah. So he's also done Telling Lies and Immortality, both of which we will get to. And then I'm not sure what he's working on at the moment. I know his studio is working on something, but I'm unaware of any details past just something. Shall we go into what this game is?
Yeah. Yeah. So when I started taking notes and I stream of consciousness, I really noted the first word I read is murder.
Yep.
And then I started looking around the screen and it's old school Windows 3.1. Most of our listeners and most of people probably don't know what Windows 3.1 looks like. Like when I started reading all the little things before digging in the game, it's a Windows 3.1 desktop. So very pixelated. The screen is 4:3 ratio to give it the old school feel. You have a glare from the old CRT monitor. So it gives an ambiance of like old. And you dig into it and it explains like what's going on and explains that you're about to dig through a police archive. All these interviews were on tape and then they digitized it in 1999. And I remember thinking like that's when this game takes place. Okay, so now I kind of have a setting. But then my brain goes, wait, 99, that's Windows 98 time. Why are we still using Windows 3.1? And that was a nice touch. And if you dig into the recycling bin on the thing, is an NFO file, which I greatly enjoyed. Those that don't know NFO files, When you used to pirate things, you would include an NFO file, which is pretty much like a tag of what the files are in there and just like who made it. This was just lovingly created as a throwback to the late 90s. And I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it is super cool. And you're given a very limited interface. You have access to all of the clips of the answers in a police interview given by this woman. She's being interviewed initially about the disappearance of her husband, Simon, and that's about
Mhm.
all you know. And the interviews take place over multiple days, and then each interview was cut into multiple clips. And it's all arranged chronologically. And you have a little interface, you can type in a word. And if that word appears in any transcripts, then it will serve up the first 5 chronological clips. And the 5 limitation is an excellent way of forcing you to dig around a lot. And the way this works is, let's say you search for body because you suspect that she's killed him, and it will serve up the first 5 clips that mention body or maybe bodies as well. And it turns out it's a story about when I believe she was a late teenager, she comes downstairs and find both of her parents dead because they ate bad mushrooms.
Wait, this is spoilers? This is pretty much spoilers at this point, then.
That little bit, yes, but it's nice to give one specific example before we go deep into spoilers.
I'm also laughing because like I'm counting how many jumps did I take for me to try the word body. It's like
Oh yeah, I
10.
did not
It
try
was
that one initially as well. But
yeah.
it's a way that the game blocks you from, if you think she actually killed him, all of the most obvious words you would search have these deliberate red herrings set up to
Oh yeah,
stop
yeah.
you from just instantly jumping to the end. And I really enjoyed that. And it sort of requires you to just start wading into clips and writing down ideas and just dig around for a while before you really build the foundation of knowledge you need to try and figure out what's at the end.
It does a really good job of letting you be ready for what you want to find. Yeah, I'll wait for the twist later.
And it's got this very magical feeling of every time you search a word, you have no idea what you're going to get, really. Like, you know, there's going to be clips, but there's a wide variety of within the interview. She tells small anecdotes and little sub stories. And so you have no idea if what you're going to get is very pertinent or you're going to get a strange, amusing little side tale that just happens to mention those words. And I saw someone describe this as a serendipitous search game because it's very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's very easy to just get stuff and you don't know what it's going to be.
I described this game, and the reason why I was talking about it with all my friends is I kept making the joke. This is a game for anybody who likes true crime. Oh, oh, you're a young lady from the ages of 20 to 60. You probably love true crime. I cheated because I know which friends love true crime. So like, yeah, I do love true crime. I'm like, then you'll love this game.
And it's also good to play with a partner. Like, you can sit on the couch
Mm,
and play this in an evening or two, and you can bounce ideas off each other as you're going.
true. It's true. You get to go through the roller coaster together.
Mm-hmm. And there's no dexterity checks of any kind. Like, you don't have to worry about if your reflexes are good enough.
This is not the game in the traditional sense. Like, if you know how to Google things, if you know how to type words, then you could do this quote unquote game.
It doesn't have a strict ending criteria for completion.
It's when you're ready to find out what happened.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about finding every single video clip if you don't want to. Once you've eventually revealed the full story, you're not going to get a screen that says, "Congratulations, you won." So it's unstructured, but it is still very cool.
Did you Hundo P this one?
I did not 100% this one. I got to the end, revealed the key events I wanted to, and then just kind of sat there and went, wow, that's really cool, and stopped.
You cannot Hundo P this one without the cheat codes at the end. After that, you just can't, and I'll explain why later.
Yeah. So we have to give a massive shout out to the actress that did all of these clips. She managed to give an excellent performance, absolutely fits the context where she's at, working with very little, but it still, she provides a very wide range of emotions, responses, and very believably plays this character who's going through all these interviews, kind of telling you her life story, and obviously, you know, with something to hide that you, the detectives, are digging into. And so, before we dive into the spoiler zone, is this something we would recommend for others?
Hell, I'm willing to buy this and like just raffle it out to people if we ever push out a Discord more. It's such a good game that anybody could play. Like it's not so much a game, as I said, like it's just Google searching. One other thing I wanted to joke about the UI to bring it back, I took a screenshot of where it says 232 megabytes local storage used. There's no way you could have this many videos. 232 megabytes. Not even in the 90s.
Ooh, I didn't even see that note. That is a good one.
I took a screenshot of it.
Yeah, I would recommend this for just about everyone. If you think the idea of digging through an archive of video clips to discover what happened to this woman's husband sounds fun, go for it.
It's also on Android and iOS.
Oh, yeah. So, like, you could play this on a tablet.
I would not, just because it's worth focusing on. Like, do not do it while traveling on the subway or something. It's definitely worth it if you can get it on sale.
It's normally like $5 or something. It is not an expensive game.
Yeah. Oh, it's like $2 on the Google Play Store.
Ooh.
If somebody wants it on Google Play, I will buy it for you. Well, like 2 people. I don't have a budget here, man.
So it looks like the base price is about $10. I think that is absolutely worth it. And it also goes on sale every major Steam sale plus more.
Yeah.
So,
But on Google Play right now, without even a sale, it's $2. It's cheaper than a subway ride, and I think it's worth it.
yeah. So, we're going to get into the spoiler zone. I highly recommend, if you think this game sounds good for you, you don't listen to this part because it will undermine the magic.
Yes, because I'm going to go through a lot of the search term I use and the emotions I felt while going through this, because this was a ride.
All right, you have been warned. So here we go. Take it away, John.
So, starting off, you had the word murder. My first keyword I use is the husband's name. And I wrote, like, might do February next. She said he was murdered then. And I went through it and I took notes of his build, his body type, what he's wearing and everything, and what he did. Go through like basic Sherlock Holmesing. And honestly, in retrospect, that didn't do much. Like, how did you start your search terms?
Oh, I tried Simon and then I saw a little note. It was like 60 results or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, way too generic. I started with some really basic stuff, ended up quickly wondering if their boss was relevant because like there was a story
Mm.
about like when he starts working. So I started sort of following that rabbit hole and then the van and then that hit on a car. So I was like, oh, I'll try the car. And that quickly had me hit the alibi,
Oh, wow. You went that way. Yeah.
like where she goes up to, was it like Glasgow?
Yeah.
Where she's on a trip the night he disappears. And so I quickly discovered everything about the alibi. I'm like, okay, so here's the story, but this isn't it. These clips are not telling me what happened. This is just her initial story.
I don't think I got to Glasgow until like much later.
Yeah, I got to Glasgow pretty quickly, but then didn't really know where to go from there. And I was digging around with presents, like you're talking about some gifts that were being given.
Mhm.
And then I typed in the word watch because there was a reference to a gift that was being given that was a watch somewhere.
She got him a watch, I believe.
Yeah, or maybe the boss got a watch because I was still in the phase of like trying to figure out if the boss was relevant. And then clip number 5 on the watch. You can sort of tell from the interviews, each day of the interview, she's wearing a different outfit.
Yes, that really helped.
Like when you can see on the clip which outfit she was wearing, I saw like the white shirt. I'm like, ooh, I haven't seen that. That's new. And that was at the end of the clips. And I clicked that and looked at the date. I'm like, oh, this is later. What do we got here? And that term was pay dirt. Like that had a reference to the actual death in it. And then from there, everything just exploded outwards.
So for me, I don't get to Glasgow until like more than halfway through my run. I went with finding more about her family first. So, big spoiler, I find out she's a twin really, really early.
Oh, nice.
I wrote, she keeps speaking in third person. And I just guessed the word twin. And my notes are, jackpot, the music changed again. Shit got creepy. I got chills. And then, like, I got through the family. That's when I learned about the parents' death. So, my turning point before that was the word Rapunzel.
Oh, yeah.
Rapunzel was the 9th or 10th search word I used. Because early in it, I realized she doesn't like mirrors. When you write her name, Hannah, like she doesn't like to look at her reflection. So that's why I was like, something not right. Twin in the jackpot. Found the diary, learned that she had a twin, and then down that rabbit hole. And then everything with the finding about all the events of the day of the disappearance. That's when I get to Glasgow. That's the route I went.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I got Glasgow first. I got the reference to the watch on the day, and at that point, she uses the name, and that's when I tripped to, "Wait a minute, there's 2 people here.
Yeah,
There's probably a twin situation." It was very funny
yeah,
because I had just read a different mystery book with a hidden twin was, like, the key of the mystery, I don't know, maybe a week before or something. So I picked that one up really quickly. It was like, "Ah, yes, okay, she's got a twin." That explains how one of them could be in Glasgow and the other one is doing the crime effectively.
right.
And then from there, I stumbled into the backstory of the twin.
I don't think I got the backstory of the twin till much later though, but I knew the twin existed. I'm really hard coded nowadays to pick up when people speak in plurals because of the game To the Moon, which I won't get into because maybe it's one that we'll review, but that one is a game that emotionally destroyed me. And that game, I've sworn I've never to not notice when someone's talking in plurals and like not just note it, keep it back in my mind. And this time I was happy that I like picked it up early and went with it. But man, this game took a turn.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I find out about the body. I don't find out about how he dies until much later. So there's a part where in the interviews, they talk about a bruise saying it comes and goes. You had a bruise yesterday and you don't have it today. And side note, when I played this, it was right around when Cardi B, I can't believe I'm referencing Cardi B. Cardi B was being sued
Oh, wow.
about like a security guard claiming assaulting her, and the prosecution's lawyer was like, "You came here yesterday with short hair. Today you have long hair." And then she laughs. It's like it's a wig. Like Cardi B just laughs. It's a wig, and I'm like, because my friends teach me about makeup and wigs all the time. So it was something that like I was already keyed in on noticing. Like, ooh, bruises coming and going. That's not just makeup. That's a story beat.
Yeah, I did not catch any of that initially.
It's interesting that you went with systematic and I went with people to go first, I think.
I have noticed this more recently in 2 other games that are not exactly like this, but sort of a similar idea of an archive dive, where I have sort of surgically found my way to answering the question and not gotten into a lot of the deeper story. And it sort of happened here as well, like by accident.
Like building the framework?
Yeah, I was still building the foundation when I tripped into discovering a note about the body that let me chain into more about the killing. And then from the killing, trip into the twins.
Mm.
And then from there, figure out enough of the events of the day to understand why.
I think I went with what is this lady hiding? Let me key in the whole Sherlock Holmes thing of like what is being said and not said, which was a lot of fun because it's a person. It's not like the other games we played where it's pixels. It's not computer generated graphics. It's a person, man.
When this was being made, Barlow did initial test because he had the idea and thought, well, how well would this work? Because he could just get interview transcripts from the police. He lives in the UK, so
Mm.
he was able to get like a public records thing of a past one where the case was a teenager was accused of killing his parents. And eventually it came down to he wanted his inheritance a lot sooner. He tried just taking that, plugging the structure in, and seeing if he could play the case. And it mostly worked. And he's like, oh, wow, like this concept works. And then set about actually tailoring this case properly in order to make sure like the keyword balances work how they're supposed to. The experience of having the interview start and being like, okay, this person is suspected of something. And then as you go, sort of getting more suspicious, but not really having anything firm to lay it on, where it's like, no, the story's varying a little bit, but not in ways that seem natural. And then eventually being able to pin in on like, ah, yes, that's really what happened. And then the follow up was he watched a bunch of other interviews and noticed that a lot of people end up taking the opportunity to present their life story,
Mm.
because a lot of people who end up committing these crimes, they're not able to talk about the things that drove them to do it with anyone before. And that tends to be a cathartic experience when they're able to do it. And so he tried to do that recreation here where you get to learn a huge amount about this woman's life story as you're going, especially with all the little anecdotes, like stories about when the parents died, the first boyfriends, the initial proposals, the early relationship with Simon. You end up learning that, but it's a thing that happens in these long form interviews.
Hmm.
And it also works to create an excellent red herring structure to block you from just instantly keying in.
True. One of the things I thought about today when I was going through my notes and looking at other stuff, I tend to take things at face value in these games. And I realized right before we started recording, is there really a twin or is it just like identity disorder?
Oh,
Is it real? Because I'm looking at my notes about coffee. Man, there were a lot of videos on coffee. And Juicy takes her coffee black, no sugar. In July, sugar and cream. And I wrote, Hana gotta be dead by then. I was like, are they actually two different people? Is she just a split personality? I didn't think about that until now, I think.
I like that that's ambiguous. I think they are still two different people, or they were, because the alibi and cleanup really only works if you have two physical people.
Yeah. And I'm also still prepped on all the Agatha Christie games we played where they sometimes have a twin.
It was an Agatha Christie book that I'd read just before playing this with no idea that was going to happen.
Uh,
And so I had the twin prompt very close to the front of the mind. So the millisecond it was like, wait, did she just refer to another person? Is there a sister? And so I started searching for sister and eventually figured out, oh, no, no, it's not just a sister, it's a twin.
I went straight for the word twin. When I wrote, she's speaking in third person, keep saying our, and then the music changed. That was cool. I think the music changed. I may be making that up. I'm pretty sure the music changed the moment I punched that in.
It may have. I think it changes when you discover like anything from, I believe it's the last interview day
I don't know if that's the last one.
at least the white shirt interview.
Yeah.
Now, because structurally, there's what, like six-ish interview days, and they're broken down. Like the first couple are when Simon is reported as missing, and then there's a couple after his body has been discovered. So initially, it's being investigated as a missing person, then it's being investigated as a murder. But both
Mm.
times, she doesn't say anything. And then a little while after that, you get the final interview where it's the actual tell all, and
Yeah.
you learn what is probably the truth of events.
At least the one that she believes.
Yeah, or close enough. It explains just about everything in a very satisfying way. Like, oh, they were twins who would switch every day. That explains why during the past interviews, weird stuff like you mentioned, like the coffee, it flips back and forth, or
Hmm.
the bruise, it appears, it disappears, it reappears. And in reality, it's because you've got Hannah and her twin Eve swapping places.
Although it could just be dissociative disorder. But then, like the whole Florence thing, midwife thing, that doesn't track at all.
Yeah, so I don't think it's dissociative disorder. Too much of it that's verifiable by the police would not work.
Right. Hope so. Because I would have been sad that I did not pick up on it while playing. That she's just crazy. Maybe she's just crazy.
I think it's deliberately left there as a way for you to not necessarily instantly cotton on to the real story. Like it's a plausible alternative for a while. And it isn't until you hit the actual crime itself that it starts to make sense of, oh, no, this requires two people.
Yeah. Also, like when Eve first meets Simon, they met at a bar. She's wearing a wig and everything. Like she says she knew who he was and he didn't know who she was. That, mm, well, how dumb can you be, man? Simon, how dumb can you be?
I mean, we're talking about guys here. We're famously not observant.
Oh yeah, and then the tattoo. That's right. One has a tattoo and the other one doesn't. That's hard to constantly fake. Is it? I guess temporary. Now I'm like second guessing. But man, I don't know. I enjoyed it.
It's very cool.
She says my sister's gone and she's never coming back. Did she kill her?
Oh, I mean, that might just be for the murder. I'm not sure.
We know what happens to one of them. We don't know what happens to the other.
I mean, it's possible that the sister felt guilty and killed herself. Like, that's an option as well.
So speaking of being ready to go for words, with all the things that happened in my life, like I have a really hard time. I really have a hard time saying the word suicide because of all the things that happened in my life. So like this game, like it took me a while before I was willing to punch in that word because Simon had his throat slit. At that point, I had not found out about like the actual mechanics of the murder. So I was like, did they come back and they find them killed? I was like, I was actually scared of that. But the game did a pretty good job of like letting me get to the point where I'm ready to find that out. And I remember going like, "Oh, good." It's like Simon did not do that. Oh, good. There's nothing there. All right, all right. Woo!
That is good. I think because I was sort of going backwards. Yeah, I got from, like, the body to the killing to the murder implement in just, like, an instant sequence of videos, so I never had time to stop and consider that other stuff.
Mm.
So I think it was, like, body and then went backwards to, like, what is it, like, throat or blood or something like that, and then shard, and then mirror.
Oh yeah, mirror. I put mirror pretty early. Like coffee.
N
There were lots of videos about the word coffee.
I don't think I ended up searching that one.
Coffee is one when I thought and I was dead. I went with romantic sugar tea. I just went with drinks after that. Oh man.
And then at the very end, I figured out, oh, there is a way you could theoretically search every single clip in order.
How would you do that? Don't say timestamp.
No, it's dumber than that. Every single video by default has the word blank written in the tags.
Huh. Oh.
If you literally just type the word blank, hit enter, it'll serve you the first 5 videos. You watch them, you delete the tags, which you would normally do as you fill stuff out. But in theory, you could just keep doing that one after another.
Mm.
And I didn't realize this until the very end.
I feel like you would have been cheating yourself if you did though.
Yeah, agreed. It's useful if you've discovered everything
Yeah.
and now you just want to see what other videos exist. You can do that to clean up the bits.
When you want to hundo P it.
Yeah, I missed a bunch of the stuff because there's some Steam achievements for discovering specific anecdotes, like first kiss, some other things.
Fennel was one of them.
I got 1 out of 5 of those, naturally.
God, fennel. That was weird that I got that one. I think it was with coffee.
Mhm.
But man, yeah, at some point toward the end, I was just shooting in the dark for words, man. I did the numbers 1 through 10 at some point. Yeah. The numbers, they lead to a lot of sex talk.
Nice.
Because he talks about age. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I got very little of that because I kind of ended up just building that early foundational stuff and then skipping pretty quickly straight into the end. So, like,
Mm,
on the desktop is sort of an image that shows you every time you watch a clip, it lights up a little square.
mm.
And that will show you where that clip was in the list of all of the clips arranged sequentially. So you can sort of tell all of the clips I've watched, here's their approximate layout in the story. And so I had a bunch at the beginning, and then I got a bunch at the end with honestly not that many in the middle.
Yeah, that makes sense. Spoiler, like the reason why I said you cannot hundo P this one without doing your trick or using one of the cheat codes after you're done to get 15 videos instead of 5, because there's just a bunch of videos that are just saying random shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, I think like tapping or something. It's like 2 or 3 of them that she's just singing on a guitar.
Apparently, the tapping is like a code that the two would use to talk to each other.
Yeah, like I thought that was Morse code at first. Sounded like SOS.
I don't remember what type of code it is exactly, but it's something like that. And I did not have any idea about that at the time.
I looked it up later. I think it's a grid code based on Vietnam or something. I could be wrong.
Ah, that would make sense. Yeah, there was a ton in this game that I never discovered. I just looked. There's 13 Steam achievements. I have 3.
Yeah. Do you remember at what point did the game ping you to say you could stop now?
I never got a ping,
What? Really? That scared the shit out of me.
or did I? I honestly don't recall if I got that ping or not.
Your police contact calls you. I know what keyword I use to find it, but I don't know why it really triggered that word.
What was the keyword?
For me, it was gone. Let's see, the Rock. It's a bar, and that's when she admits to killing him. They kill them together with the mirror, and they talk about finding the body. And I wrote like the game pinged me. Someone texted, and I was really surprised. I think I could end the game now. I was like, but I wanted to 100% it, so I just kept going until I was real sleepy.
I am not sure if I got that or not. Not recalling it, but doesn't matter.
You had to because that's the way to end the game to find out who you're actually playing as.
Mm.
If you're that enthralled, you won't remember it.
Yeah, it may have just been like, I'm busy discovering the story, go away.
Mm. Oh, I found out about the knock code when I punched in the word cat.
Oh,
And I wrote, not quite Morse code.
hmm.
Do you remember any interesting words you tried just to try?
What weird stuff would I have done? Not right off the top of my head, but I remember trying all sorts of bits, but it was almost always something that was mentioned in a clip.
Hmm.
Because my initial thing was just sort of like, all right, let's toss whatever Simon in there, watch 5 clips, get a bunch of ideas from that, write them down, and just start going.
I think the most interesting word is the word arrest. She says, "Can you arrest someone who doesn't exist?" And then I just punched the word exist. And man, that's when you find out about Eve and Hannah. Now that I think about it, like they might have been the same person because Eve was hooking up with all kinds of strangers, banging everyone at 17.
When she was trying to get pregnant.
Yeah, and then Hannah got pregnant. And I got that from just the word exist.
Wow. That's impressive for Exist.
I'll say existential, but that's kind of hitting the nail on the head. But yeah, I really enjoyed this journey of the game.
This was a great one. Is there anything else you want to cover before we phase out?
So one of the reasons why like I was selling this game hard to my friends and stuff is the true crime aspect of this game. And one of the reasons why I like these detective games and these puzzle games is because these games have an answer. There's a solution. It comes from somebody's mind. Whereas in real true crime, sometimes people just crazy and just want to murder people, man. And I don't need that vibe. That's why I think this game is satisfying in that you know there's an ending, you know there's a story, you know there's a narrative, and you're ready to walk that journey. Whereas, like, I listened to the podcast Serial over the summer, and I've got some thoughts, which I will not say here, I guess, because it's not the venue.
Oh, yeah. And that's the OG.
Yeah, that's what started a lot of the true crime craze. But that one, this is ambiguous at the ending. You know, that's why they reopened the case and everything. This one, like, nah, man, nah. She killed him. She tells you why.
Yep.
There's a story. There's an ending.
You get a very nice, satisfying wrap up of, okay, all of this story makes sense now within itself.
What'd you think of the ending?
Ooh, man, stumbling into that was like, whoa. And then kind of just sat there with it for a couple minutes, like,
Oh yeah,
oh, all right.
especially when you find out who you're playing as, who the protagonist is.
Yeah, that one I just had to sit with for a couple minutes, which is always a good sign.
Yeah,
It was a satisfying sit with, I should specify.
it was sad.
Sometimes I have to sit there and try and figure out what the hell just happened because I don't understand it. This was more, okay, I need to let this digest. This is satisfying but big.
Agreed. One thing I want to mention is like, because you're playing as a CRT screen, you can see a reflection of a face, and it's just freaking me out. The fluorescent light buzz, like the ambiance was cool. There is a cheat code to remove that CRT glare. I would not suggest removing the glare. The glare is tremendous to set the scene.
Oh, I had no idea there was that code.
Yeah, there's a code for that. There's a code to give 15 videos instead of 5.
Yeah, that would really make finding all of them easier.
Oh, also like wearing headphones when I play it, like you're able to hear a lot more nuance of the game.
Yeah, definitely. You want to have good sound quality for this, if possible.
And that's my take on the game.
We like this one. We recommend it.
Yeah, especially if you can get it for $2, man. Movie ticket is like $20 nowadays, man. This is good hour and a half, especially if you like true crime. But if you listen this far all the way through, you already know that because you know you cheated yourself and you know all the search terms because I literally told you all at least the ones I used.
Or at least enough to get to most of the keywords you want.
Yes. Still an adventure.
So, what have you been playing lately?
Nothing. Been just catching up on work and cleaning. Though I've been trying to punch through more Phoenix Wright, Justice for All. I'm tempted to dig up my old 3DS and play the next one in the way that Nintendo intended it. But I do not want to restart the game. Or if I can find my old original cartridge, I can continue from this Phoenix Wright game that we're playing.
Although technically playing it on a GBA emulator would be even more how they intended.
Was this one GBA?
It was originally GBA in Japan only, and
Yeah.
then they made a 3DS port, added that extra case to the first game. Yeah. So originally it was GBA, which again is mind blowing to me. They made that run on the GBA.
I believe it.
Yeah. I've been playing a ton of smaller indie detective games from Itch. 2 of them, ironically, have been archive/search crawlers. One of them was literally like a night in the archives, and then another one was a text parser where you're also investigating a body that has just shown up. The phrase was, they went to bury Stephen Hester, and his grave already had a body in it. And that's the tagline for the game. And you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. That one was tough, and it kind of has a supernatural vibe to it. I think it was made for a spooky game jam. Yeah, and the other archive crawler was cool, But the dev says he wants to build a much larger game and make like the case that you play as just instead of the entire game, make that be like a case within it. So we'll see if that ends up actually happening. So that's what I've been up to. And other than that, trying to finish up my modded Minecraft run.
I think the next short one I'm doing is Duck Detective Ghost of Glamping. I think I can do that in an afternoon.
Yeah, that's probably a 2-hour game, maybe. And that's assuming you're enjoying yourself and taking your time.
Taking notes. I need something less heavy than Her Story. Granted, I played Her Story like a month ago.
I can guarantee that Duck Detective will be less heavy.
I played for like 15 minutes already. I get it. I mentioned this game I have last time. I think I got it from a Humble Bundle, but I'm afraid of it. Called Fulbright Presents Toilet Spiders. I don't know if that's our jam, but I have it.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to figure it out.
I don't know, man. I'm scared of it.
Yeah, you did mention that one. That is such a name.
Toilet Spiders.
Like, what the hell?
Well, man, nah, man. It's probably not our jam. I don't know. Next one, maybe Riley Rochelle. I have installed Detective Grimoire, The Operator, something. I'll play something as well.
Yeah. Well, you can find us on Blue Sky at Flatfoots and Fools. Podcast is edited by Peter Crevier. Podcast art by Lolita Gross. Music by Antonic Music. Keep searching, everyone.
Bye.